Hi, I'm Tracy Soffra and welcome to the Women of Wealth podcast, dedicated to helping women achieve financial independence and thrive in every area of her life. In today's episode, we're going to dive into reducing money stress. So let's talk about money stress and what it means in this fast-paced world. Financial stress has become an all too common challenge. Whether it's the pressure to make ends meet, the worry of mounting debt, or the anxiety of not saving enough for the future, money-related stress can take a toll on both mental and physical well-being, and we're seeing a lot more of that. Financial wellness is the state of having a healthy relationship with money. So it's crucial for reducing stress and creating peace of mind. So let's talk about the impact of financial stress. Financial stress isn't just about the numbers in your bank account. It has far more far-reaching effects on your health. A 2023 study conducted by the Australian National University found that individuals experiencing financial hardship were twice as likely to suffer from mental health issues like anxiety and depression. Now that's huge, and there's a correlation there for you. Globally, a survey of the International Psychology Association revealed that 72% of adults feel stressed about money at least some of the time, highlighting how widespread the issue actually is. This stress can also spill into relationships, obviously, work performance, and even sleep quality. And I'm guessing you're probably going, hell yeah, I'm feeling that. I've experienced that. I'm losing sleep over that. As financial burdens build up, they often create a really vicious cycle, making it harder to take effective action to resolve these issues. So how do you stop having those sleepless nights? How do you get over procrastinating at work and constantly having this burden and it impacting your everyday relationships? What is the path to financial wellness? Well, achieving financial wellness doesn't mean becoming wealthy overnight or eliminating every financial worry. It's quite interesting, actually. Instead, it's about creating a sense of control, right? It's about having this sense of control over your finances and really developing habits that support this long-term stability. It's about knowing that it's going to be okay and you're able to understand and take control of whatever position you are in financially. So I'm going to share 6 strategies with you that will help you do that and get you back into some sort of control where you're sleeping well at night, you're having better relationships, and obviously enjoying your work more. First things first, let's talk about, so the first strategy is understand your money habits. The first step to reducing money stress is understanding how do you interact with money. It's a really, really interesting concept, and I see it time and time again with my clients. I see it with my daughter, with my sisters, even with myself. We do carry financial baggage. I've talked about this a multitude of times in my podcast. As you know, I talk about your financial DNA, I talk about your money mindset. All of that comes from where we come from when it comes to money, which will then impact how we basically interact with money. Do you spend impulsively when you're stressed? Do you spend when you're happy? Are you self-aware of how you are interacting with your money? Are you avoiding looking at your credit card statements? I see a lot of that happening. Awareness really is the key to understanding and to making changes. You've got to be aware. You've got to be self-aware of what you're actually doing so you can make some changes. You've got to stop yourself and go, hang on, what am I doing that for? Or why? I know that, it's been a month since I've checked my statements and I kind of just avoiding it at all costs. Why? Why? Is it too painful? Is it something you don't want to face? And how do we overcome these things? According to a 2024 study by the Commonwealth Bank of Australia, individuals who track their spending and create a monthly budget, they report significantly lower levels of stress. So that comes back to my point of having some form of control. It's not about becoming rich overnight, but having some form of control over your finances. So consider using, the studies show that people who are tracking and all over it and understanding what's going on they have lower stress levels. So consider using budgeting apps or tools to help track your income and expenses. There's a multitude of them out there. Many of these apps also include features such as setting goals and also categorizing your spending, making it easier to stay on track with your finances. So consider that. The second thing that you can do, second strategy, is to build an emergency fund. So financial uncertainty is one of the biggest sources of stress, not being in control, not actually knowing if something was to happen, whether you've got, have you got some funds to get you out of any particular situation you might find yourself in? All of a sudden you need 4 tyres for the car, or something's blown up in the house and you need a few $1,000s. Building an emergency fund and having that savings buffer to cover unexpected expenses can provide that peace of mind, and peace of mind reduces financial stress, right? We all know that. And also, I'm sharing a lot of research with you, but in this particular podcast, but I just want to make sure that it's understood that there is a lot of research out there. So research from the University of Melbourne also highlights that having just 3 months worth of expenses that you've saved actually significantly reduces financial anxiety, knowing that you've got that backing. And if you think about that yourself in your everyday life and know that you've got that security and that buffer, how good does that feel? I mean, just sit with that for a moment here with me and think about that. Think about that. If you don't have it, what would that feel like? And if you do have it, how does that feel? Certainly that's going to feel a lot more relaxing and a load off your chest, knowing that that's there as a backup. This cash cushion ensures that life surprises, and we know there's a lot of those, such as medical bills or car repairs, they're not going to derail your financial plans, and you're not going to go off the rails thinking, how the hell am I going to get out of this? Start small if you need to, but make it a priority to contribute to emergency funds regularly. And even if it's $20 a week, it doesn't really matter. It will add up over time and offer you much needed reassurance to know that you've got backing during any uncertain times that you may have. These small little things are big things at the end of the day. So start small, but start now. The third strategy is really creating a debt repayment plan. So if you've got a lot of debt and you feel out of control, what a better way to get in control and feel better about it than what? Planning. I'm a planner. I love to plan. I love to map things out, and I need to know that I'm in control. And the minute I know I'm in control and mapping things out, I also feel a sense of peace of mind, I guess, clarity, confidence, and that anxiety reduces. Because debt can feel overwhelming, but taking action will reduce the emotional toll, I promise you. And I don't know whether you've heard, but there are certain methods of reducing debt. One of them is, I just want to make mention of that in this podcast, it's called the snowball method, where you focus on paying off the smallest debt first while making minimum payments on the rest. And that particular method has been shown to be effective in keeping motivation high. And that is awesome, because what does that actually mean? It means that you're actually doing something, and you've got a game plan, you're doing something, and you're progressing forward rather than sitting there not knowing what the hell's going on. And a lot of financial anxiety and stress is all about the anxiety of not knowing, not having any control, and feeling totally out of control. So the minute you make decisions, the minute you make plans, and the minute you start following certain strategies, all of a sudden that whole mindset changes and shifts to a place of, are you feeling that with me? Yeah. Okay. So another study I'm going to share with you. In 2022, a global study by the Financial Wellness Institute found that individuals using this strategy felt more in control of their finances and less stressed within the first 3 months of implementation. And that's got to be better for your overall health, doesn't it? Because financial well-being is, you can see it impacts your physical and your mental health in a big way. So if you're struggling with multiple debts, consider reviewing all of your current debts and consolidating your debts and creating a realistic repayment plan. That's key, and that will make you feel so much better and in control. Another strategy number 4 here, is practicing mindful spending. Mindful spending. I'm finding this to be a lot easier as I get older, funnily enough. I guess as you get older, you don't feel the need to have so many things. And I guess you've done that while you were younger and you've sort of got over all of that. But mindful spending is all about being intentional with how you use your money. So coming back to interacting, how you're interacting and being mindful around that, and then how you're interacting with your money in terms of your spending and being aware of that as well. So before making a purchase decision, ask yourself, do I really need this? The word is need, not want. Do I really need this? And most times we don't really need most of the things that we want to buy. It's kind of like a nice to have, or God, I always wanted that, or sometimes it's even, oh my goodness, it's 50% off. Well, yeah, that's fine. It's cheaper. Yes, definitely. But do you need it? Do you really have to have it? And would it change your life if you didn't have it? They're the questions I want you to ask yourself. The other thing is, over and above, do I really need this, is will this bring long-term value? How will this impact my long-term financial well-being and my long-term retirement plans? Because as I said about creating that cash cushion and putting money aside, $20 a week is all you need to get started. If you're buying items frivolously every week, 20, 40, 50, 10, whatever it might be, add those up and you will see that that is a significant number and a significant dent into what you're trying to create for the long term. So ask yourself about the long-term value, being financially aware of your mindful spending. By pausing, this is a pause before you act, by pausing to evaluate your spending choices, you're more likely to make decisions that align with your financial goals, because what you're doing is you're really actually giving yourself an opportunity to just check in. It's just a check-in. So mindful, stop, question, consider, and then make that decision. Research by the Behavioural Institute team in the UK suggests that mindful spending can reduce the impulse, and it does. Try it next time you want to go and buy something, to buy items that offer only short-term satisfaction. And a lot of the time it will come down to how you're feeling on the day, if you need a bit of a pick-me-up, if you've had a bad week or a bad morning, or you're not feeling so great about yourself that day, and you're using money and purchasing to make yourself feel better. Again, how you interact with money and mindful spending, they're kind of interrelated. The fifth strategy, this is a fantastic one, and this is one I teach and implement in my own life, and obviously teach because it is fundamental to creating financial success and reducing financial distress, if you like, is automate savings and investments. Automate it. Life is busy. We're juggling so many things at once. You don't want to leave your decisions to save and then to invest in your hands every single week. You'll either miss it, or you'll decide not to, or something else will come up that you think is more important. Set and forget. When I say set and forget, I don't mean forget the investment and forget looking at them. What I mean is set and forget in terms of go back to your budget, work out what your budget is, your cash flow analysis. I've talked about this multitude of times, and make sure you're paying yourself first. Remember that concept I talk about all the time, and automate these things. So one of the easiest ways to reduce money stress is to automate your savings and investment by setting up automatic transfers to savings accounts and investment portfolios, without a doubt. So easy to do. It removes the burden of you having to make these decisions every pay cycle. As I said, life gets busy. We don't have time to do that every time. And it's consistent and it helps. And you know that these things are ticking along in the background. You've still got plenty to get on with and live, but they're ticking away in the background, reducing that financial stress. And you know you're being looked after. You know you're looking after yourself. Yeah. So financial wellness is all about looking after yourself. In Australia, superannuation is an excellent example of automating retirement savings. With employers, they're contributing the 11.5 at the moment to your financial future, and also your ability to add to that in terms of concessional, whether it's salary sacrifice or after-tax contributions as well. It's also wise to create personal savings that cater for immediate goals, as I mentioned. So obviously you want to be saving for whether it's a cash cushion, whether it's immediate savings goals for holidays, or any other goals that you've got, kids' education, whatever it might be, and then long-term investing as well. The final strategy I want to share with you is the role of financial education. I can't go past this topic without talking about financial education, because knowledge is power. Many people feel financial stress due to a lack of knowledge because they just don't know. They don't have the knowledge, and therefore they don't have the confidence, and they don't know who to trust. They don't know who to go to, and then they're frozen doing nothing. And you know what I always say, do nothing, you get nothing, yeah? So a 2024 report by the Australian Financial Attitudes and Behaviour Tracker found that only 35%, that's 35% of Australians consider themselves to be financially literate. That's really low, right? Learning about basic financial concepts like budgeting, like investing, retirement planning can empower you to make informed decisions and reduce the fear that comes with uncertainty, because fear is a very powerful emotion, and fear will stop you in your tracks. So fear comes from lack of knowledge, uncertainty. I don't know. I'm not sure. I've never been taught. Money's a skill not taught. So consider taking one of our online programs. We have a multitude of those programs that can teach you practical money management skills and how to prepare for retirement so you can have a secure income in retirement. Knowledge is power, as I said, and being informed will give you the confidence in navigating your future and your financial journey. Really, really important. And, I was raised throughout this podcast, if you've listened to a multitude of them, if you've been listening since the start, you will know that I was raised to believe in the ultimate power of education, and financial education is on the top of my list. So I can't stress that enough for you and everybody listening. So as I wrap up today's episode, I want to remind you that financial wellness is a journey like any other. Start small. Start with small, manageable steps, and over time, you'll find that money no longer dominates your worries. Yeah? Because if you start taking action, if you start small, if you make those decisions, it's going to take away the uncertainty and the anxiety around not being in control, about not being aware, and the uncertainties of not having the knowledge. And with the right tools and habits and support through our programs and our community, you can achieve a state of financial peace that benefits your overall well-being. And let's face it, we don't want to be living with anxiety and depression and spiraling out of control in terms of our mental health. We want good, strong mental health. Life's busy and there's plenty of other stresses in life to deal with, and this is not one additional one we want. If this sounds like something you'd like to explore, make sure to speak to one of our strategists, and you can book a call with one of them. It's absolutely free. All you need to do is go to wowwomen.com.au, click the link to our programs, and you can go from there. Thank you for listening to our Wow Women of Wealth podcast. If you found today's episode helpful, please share it with a friend, leave a review, and don't forget to subscribe, because you may have missed previous episodes that you would love to listen to. But until next time, take control of your wealth and your future, and I'll see you on the other side.